I will have you without armor, Casebreaker, or I will not have you at all. Hi guys, this is Meenu. Welcome back to my channel StoryTale. Every once in a while comes a book which makes you fall in love with reading all over again, and you want to go back in time so that you can read that book for the first time again. That is what Six of Crows has been for me. Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo will now forever be my favorite book of all time. This book has been very popular and I can proudly say that it deserved to be popular. This is one book that I am never gonna put down. This is the book that I'm gonna read it again because I love everything about this book. There's not even a single dull moment. I love each and every characters. I love every bit and pieces of this book. This book is something that I am never gonna forget. When I started Shadow and Bone series, I was looking forward to this book in particular because people have liked Shadow and Bone series and some people have not liked Shadow and Bone series, but almost everyone have loved Six of Crows duology. This book is everywhere. It's on booktube, it's on Instagram, it's on Facebook. Everywhere I see this book and everyone have always loved it. So when I first started it, I was kind of scared that this may not live up to my expectation because like I said, this book is so popular and everyone have loved it, and I was scared that I may not love it and then I'll be like that outsider, which I do not want to be, because I did want to see what was so good about this book that everyone loved. And when I read it, this one just blew my mind. I'm really glad that I have hardcover and special edition of this book because I want to cherish this as long as I live. I just want to keep it with myself forever. I'm also going to put it down now because my hands are paining and I am not that athletic to actually carry that much weight. To be honest, I do not even know where to begin. I love the characters, I love the storyline, I loved everything about this. This has been a very different book. I have never actually read any heist kind of books, to be honest. There's so many twists and turns. Every page has some kind of surprise and you actually cannot guess what Casebreaker is gonna do next. That is what I love about Cas. You just do not know what he's thinking all the time. He is that trickster who have some kind of trick up his sleeve, and I love that about him. I always wanted him to save the day with some kind of trickery or something, and he does save the day with his tricks. So that was the best thing about him. Six of Crows takes place in the same universe as Shadow and Bone trilogy. This just takes place in the different region of the world. Ketterdam. Ketterdam is more like a dark slum area kind of place. Everywhere is crime and people gambling and murders happening every now and then. And that is where our 6 main characters come from. Cas is like this mastermind of this gang called Dregs, who are basically thugs and thieves. Cas has a very dark past and he has revenge on his mind. That is why sometimes he has to be very ruthless and has to get his hand dirty. That is why he is also called as Dirty Hands in the book. His right hand is Inage, who is a woman of color and she's a Sully girl. She also had a very dark past. She used to work with this menagerie where she has to sell her body every night so she can remain alive. She was kind of like a slave in this pleasure house, and Cas actually helped her get out of it. Even though she got out of the contract which was wrongfully done and forced her to work for the menagerie, she got into another contract where she has to pay a huge lot of money to get out of her debt. She is also known as Rat in this book because she is very light on the feet. She is like a spider. Nobody can detect her where she is. She has this kind of ability where she can go anywhere undetected. Nobody can actually hear her coming, and that is why Cas recruited her in his group so that she can bring information for him. There is also Jasper, who is a man of color, and he is the most light-hearted character of this book. I really enjoyed all his scenes because they are more light-hearted, and that is where humor comes from actually. He has a problem with gambling, and I think he's bisexual because I do see some kind of chemistry between him and villains, so I'm not so sure. Maybe in the Crooked Kingdom they become a thing, but in this book they were not. But there were still some scenes which I think that Jasper might be in love with villain, the way he cares about him, the way he jokes around him. I don't know, I just feel like there's a chemistry there. I'm gonna find that out in the next book, so let's see. And villain with whom I want Jasper to end up with is actually the most innocent character of this whole lot. He's the only one who does not get a POV in this book. Other than that, everyone has their own POV. Maybe we get to see his point of view in the next book, I do not know, but I did like his chemistry with Jasper, and he's very innocent. I did like him, and by the end of the book we discover that he cannot actually read, and the letters that his father has been sending him is kind of like a mockery, and I actually felt very bad for him. I loved how his character played in the end. He was so brave that he changed his appearance, his face, just so that he can help the Dregs. I think that was the best character trait he had. He was very brave, and I do want to see him with Jesper in the next book. One of the other character I loved was Nina. She is like one of the most badass character there. I loved her banter with Matthias. Even though she is in love with Matthias, she does not back down from a fight with him. I loved their banter. I loved their chemistry. Everything was so good. And Nina as a whole person is very interesting. I love that she's a plus size character. I love that she loves food. I love that she's a Grisha, and I loved her powers. She will do everything that needs to be done. She loves Matthias, so she will do anything for him. She loves Inej, and she's like a best friend to her, which I actually loved. I especially love this scene when Inej and Nina is talking and they both call Kaz and Matthias as idiots. I think that was one of the most best friend kind of scene which I actually loved. I think I like Nina more than I like Inej. I still love Inej. I love her. I love her character. She's a badass. She is like everything perfect. But I love kind of Nina more. She's more relatable, so I like her more. And then there's Matthias, who is a Fihirdan, and he is a patriotic person, and he has actually sworn to get rid of all the Grisha people. He thinks that Grisha people are actually evil because that is what has been taught to him over the years, and his family was also killed by Grisha people. So that is why he has a hatred for Nina, but still he cannot help but falling in love with her. I love that first scene when he is caressing Nina's cheeks, and then in the next second he was throttling her. So that was the scene that I actually loved. I also loved his journey, how he was so much in disagreement with the Dregs and how in the end he ended up becoming a part of it. So that was the journey I actually enjoyed. I especially like the scene when he realizes how wrong he was, how much he has misjudged Nina, and how his ideologies are actually wrong. And I want to see more of his chemistry with Nina in the next book. All of these characters are very different from each other, but still Kaz brought them together in order to attempt this heist, which is almost impossible. There's a new kind of Jarda in the market, which is like a drugs. It makes Grisha people have these insane abilities where it makes their power grow almost 1,000 times. We see the influence of this Jarda in the first chapter of the book. That scene was again the best opening that I've ever read. The name of this Jarda is Parem, and the literal translation of it is not mercy. After first dose you get a high of like 3 to 4 hours, and after that it wears off. After it wears off, you have this insane withdrawal phase where if you do not get it again, you will start to go crazy and actually lose your mind. So it is very toxic in nature. I was actually very scared when Nina took it and she had the first dose and she is already feeling the withdrawal and everything. So I do not know what is going to happen with her in the next book. I'm really scared for her, and of course she's not going to die. Something good is going to happen, and I'm just looking forward to what that is. Parem can only be made by one scientist, and he has been captured and taken to Ice Court, which has insane security and nobody has been able to break it. It's a good thing that Matthias have worked there, so he has kind of idea about the Ice Code, but still breaking into it and taking out the captive is very dangerous. That is why there is a huge reward for this task, and that is why Kaz accepted it. Every character has their own reason for breaking into the code, and I absolutely loved everything that happened at the code. That heist was so action packed, so full of twist and turn, so much unpredictable. I loved every scene during the heist. I loved all the complication. I loved how character worked there. I loved everything about that heist. This book needs to be a movie. I mean, even the book feels like it was written like a movie. From the first scene till the last one, every single scene is like a movie which is written on the pages. I would have loved to see this book as a movie because it would have been a great hit. But other than that, Netflix is coming with a TV series which is not exactly Six of Crows. It is more like Shadow and Moon. But still it has the same universe, and there are characters from Six of Crows in the book. There's gonna be Kaz, Ines, Jesper, I think Nina and Matthias too. I'm not so sure about Villain, and there's no Nikolai, so I'm really disappointed about that. But anyway, I'm gonna take whatever I'm gonna get. I am really hyped up about the series, and I really hope that they do justice to these characters. I do not care about Shadow and Bone, to be honest, but I'm gonna take whatever I'm gonna get. So I'm just really hyped up, and I'm really waiting for 24th April because that is when I'm gonna be able to see it. This video is not a book review. This is basically me talking about how much I love Six of Crows. I love all the characters, and there are special some scenes that I absolutely loved. There are almost every scene is perfect in this book, but there are special quotes which I actually loved and which I want to discuss a little bit. So there's one scene where Kaz talked to other characters of the book, and I love that scene, so I'm gonna read it out to you. Be patient with me. So here it goes. Kaz actually asks the group, what is the easiest way to steal a man's wallet? Ines replies, knife to the throat. Jesper replies, gun to the back, and Nina suggested poison in his cup. And to which Matthias replied, You all are horrible. I mean, I love this scene. This particular scene shows each and every character and how different they are. Even their process, their thinking, and everything is so different. I love this scene because this particular scene talks about their characters and their individuality. There's again one scene which I loved, which is kind of a sweet, so I'm gonna read it again. It's a very small scene, it's not something very big, but I remember when I read it, I had this big smile on my face, so I'm just gonna read it to you. This is the scene when Ek captures Inej in order to blackmail Cass because he realized Inej is actually his weakness. And this is what Cass says when he's making his vow. He says, I'm going to get my money and I'm going to get my girl. I love this scene. How sweet he is. I mean, Cass has always been this, I do not know, this person who does not let anybody touch him and who does not let anybody in. That is what I loved about Inej and his chemistry. Their romance is not too much on the nose. It is very subtle and it is actually naturally formed. I mean, both of them are not surprised by each other's feeling. They kind of know that both of them kind of love each other, but still they have their own walls, they have their own complications, but still it is so natural to them that they do not think about it much. They do not realize it because they do love each other. It's just they cannot do anything about it. There's again one line which I absolutely loved, so please bear with me. This is what Inej actually tells to Cass. This one quote is what actually defines their relationship and the complications that they have. Inej tells Cass, I will have you without armor, Cashbreaker, or I will not have you at all. Isn't that again a sweet line? I love this line. I love everything about their chemistry. I love everything about this book. This book is just amazing. I really wish I can go back in time and read it again because I felt so many emotions and felt so happy about reading this book. And I have just so much high hopes from the next installment, Crooked Kingdom. I'm just in love with this series and I'm just love with these characters. If I could give 10 stars, I would have, but I have 5 stars. So I'm gonna give this book 5 out of 5 stars. This is just amazing. It does not actually need a book review. This book is just out of this world. Now I'm gonna get started with the second book of the series, and of course I'm gonna bring the review for you guys. Again, that is not gonna be a review. I'm just gonna be ranting about how much I love this book, love this universe, love these characters and everything. So until then, if you like this video, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe and hit that bell icon if you wanna get notified of my videos. Until then, no mourners, no funerals.